you listen to reason? Will you open your eyes? It's a wonder what you'll find with an open mind. You may be surprised. Yeah, gotta get away from this illusion for the sake of the world. This delusion, it's gotta go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Atheist Experience. I'm Matt Dillahunty. Joining me this week's Jeff D. It is Sunday, August 29th, 2010. Yeah. We're live. How you doing?
Good. You?
So. We'll see. I'll try and perk myself up for the show.
You're going to be fine. Did you notice they listed me as a host in the credits?
Yeah.
Did they list us both as hosts?
Probably. I didn't even really care.
Awesome.
We don't need labels and titles on there. It's Matt and Jeff.
Yeah.
What more are we looking for? We are live, as I mentioned. This is a public access television program sponsored by the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization promoting positive atheism and the separation of church and state. The ACA has weekly meetings every Sunday at Romeo's on Barton Springs Road, beginning at around 11:30, except for the first Sunday of the month when we host our lecture series at the Austin History Center, located at the corner of 9th and Guadalupe. And the lectures begin at roughly 12:15. You probably want to be there right at noon when the doors open. I don't have the info on the next lecture that's coming up. But in addition to that, the ACA also sponsors what was a bi-weekly internet audio podcast, but it's been on hiatus, and it's scheduled to return in the near future. We'll be making announcements, and it may no longer be bi-weekly. It might, by way of apology, end up being weekly or as close to weekly as we can. It's called The Nonprofits, and for more information you can go to www.nonprofitsradio.com. That's PROPHETS, and we'll have things posted both at that site and at the ACA main site, which is www.atheist-community.org. There you'll find a frequently asked question page, a calendar of events, information on the organization, how to participate, special notes about upcoming events, and a lot of other information. If you look there now, you'll see that we're announcing and taking registration for the Bat Cruise. Our annual Bat Cruise is September 25th, and there's still places available. Stop by the website, fill out your application, and you can be included on that. It's September 25th, 2010 at 6 p.m. Austin has the largest metropolitan population of bats in the world. And so we rent a big boat, we go out on the lake, which is actually a dammed up river, but that doesn't matter. And we bring out drinks and food and chit chat and talk and watch the bats go out for the nightly feed. It's a good bit of fun. And this year, before the event actually occurs, the Bat Cruise will be meeting at 6 p.m. At 3 p.m. at the UU Church here in town, I'll be giving my lecture on the superiority of secular morality. That begins at 3 o'clock. So we'll do that as kind of a pre-Bat Cruise event thing and then head on out. Other things of note, I had mentioned previously that Americans United was going to have a meeting, special event guest come in September to discuss how believers and non-believers can communicate more effectively. The date for that's been changed. I don't have all the new information, but you can visit the Americans United website for Austin. I think it's auaustin.org, but I'll have to double check. We'll get something posted about it as soon as we can, and I'll toss out a reminder next week, assuming it's not too late. October 8th through 10th is the Texas Free Thought Convention in northern Texas, which is kind of like Oklahoma, but we let that slide. In the Dallas area, where there is a huge population of atheists, agnostics, freethinkers, secular humanists, who we're hoping will all get together. You can go to Texas Free Thought Convention, TexasFreeThoughtConvention.com, I believe is the right website. I may be wrong on that too. For some reason I don't have all my website info in front of me, so I told you I was slacking today. That's right. October 8th through 10th. Their list of speakers is up there. I'll be there, Jen will be there. We're planning on setting up a table with some of the audio equipment from the Nonprofit Show to record interviews with the guest speakers. We won't be broadcasting anything live. There's Wi-Fi access is sketchy at best, and we didn't want to try to be broadcasting, like a 24-hour thingy. And November 16th, I'll be somewhere in between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore at UMBC for a debate. And I'll get you more information as we get closer to November, but I wanted to at least get the word out there.
Who with?
I can't tell you right now. We're going to be debating the origin of human morality, and that's pretty much always decided right now. And even that may change, but at least something's going forward for the people who wanted to have an actual kind of formal debate. It looks like it's actually going to come to pass now. In addition to all these events, the ACA also has a happy hour every Thursday at around 7 o'clock at the Dog and Duck Pub at 17th and Guadalupe. And when this show's over, we're on until 6 p.m. Everybody involved gets together and goes to dinner at Threadgill's, 301 West Riverside Drive. We'll be down there around 3:30 or so, 6:30 or so. Any atheist or atheist-friendly person is welcome to come to any of our events. You don't have to be a member to attend, but if you're coming down to preach, proselytize, or provoke, please don't. Just pick up the phone and give us a call, where we'll be happy to talk to you about whatever. Because I don't know, you didn't bring anything in particular.
I don't have anything prepared today, though I am expecting that we're going to get calls about the so-called Ground Zero Mosque, because it's all over the news and it's religion related.
I'm sure we will now that you've primed the pump.
Actually, if I say we're prepared to talk about it, then it's almost guaranteed we won't get any theists calling in.
That may be the case.
On that subject, but
yeah,
or Muslims.
So I guess we're going to just dive right into callers today. The telephone number's up there. As a reminder, anybody who doesn't get through today or doesn't want to get through today can email tv@atheist-community.org. That goes to myself, the co-host, some of the people behind the scenes. We cannot possibly answer all the email that comes in, but we do read it. And if you put AETV or NPR in the header, you'll be more likely to make it through everybody's spam filters, or at least mine. So we'll go ahead and start taking calls right off the bat. We got Mike in Ohio.
Yeah, nice to talk to you guys.
Mike.
First of all, as I understand it, a deist believes that there's a God that created the universe, and a theist believes that it's a personal God that was hands-on. Well, I'm what we call a double deist. I believe in a very hands-on God. When you talk about double deism, everybody I've told about double Ds either says, oh my God, or what, Jesus Christ, okay, as soon as they see him. So that's my proof of the existence of God, is in the existence of double Ds. Now, my real question is, why in all religions, it seems, is there no humor? If you go through the Bible, the Old Testament, New Testament, the Quran, the Book of Mormon, there's no humor. It seems as though God doesn't like humor. Now, my theory is God is so insecure, he thinks people are laughing at him. Okay?
But he's not paranoid, because if people really are.
He doesn't like any jokes. I just wondered what your comments would be on that.
You want to go first?
Go ahead. I don't even know what to say.
I'm not 100% certain that that's true. The thing about, you could take any joke and then say that the fate of your eternal soul lies in not laughing at it and taking it seriously, and it wouldn't be funny anymore. Those stories about, like, I'm trying to remember the Moses thing where he's put in I can't remember the details of this. There's something about the Moses story where he's a little baby and he's put in a basket, and the Pharaoh asks for some very specific thing to happen, and because of the fact they put Moses in a basket, he gets away with it.
They killed all the babies under 2.
Yeah,
well, that doesn't strike me as very funny.
But wait a minute, what's the potential comedy in that?
I don't know. You brought it up. I didn't bring it up as funny.
My mistake. But anyway, there could be things in the Bible that are meant to be funny. How would you know?
Good question.
I think what may be the case is because there's so little humor in the Bible, the adherents seem bound and determined to provide the world with humor on behalf of the Bible, which is how you get things like creationist museums where people are riding dinosaurs.
Sure, and yet to me it's so easy to come up with humor. Like I was thinking, at the Last Supper, Jesus could have been asked by Judas, what do you think of capital punishment? And Jesus would have said, well, I'm in favor of it, of course. Okay? Which was a little ironic in light of what was to happen the next day.
Yeah, there's the classic joke of what happened the next day, where Jesus is up on the cross and says, "Hey Peter, I can see your house from here."
Okay.
But those are all jokes about religion,
right?
I think one of the reasons, I don't know that this is anything to particularly criticize them for, because it's not like you find a whole lot of jokes in anything that's meant to be talking about a serious subject and treating it seriously. So I don't.
But yet, to me, humor is the best way to treat serious subjects often, because you can't do much about them, so you make a joke about it.
Yeah, but they're making the case that you can do something about them. Is that's the difference?
Okay, well, it just seems to me that God has very little humor in him, as you can see from many of the acts in the Old Testament.
I don't know. I think you can make a case that, given some of the things that happen, maybe God has an incredible sense of humor. And this is all some cosmic joke. He's testing the gullibility of people. Although I wouldn't particularly find it funny as much as just being a dick. But
hey, yeah, I would have to agree. But and also, though, I think it carries over into religious people, who also seem to have very little sense of humor.
I don't buy that at all.
When they're taking it so seriously that they can't see the other side of it.
I don't buy that at all. I not remotely. Even some of the biggest firebrands you've ever seen, I find that they do actually have a sense of humor. It may not be, they may scoff at base humor and toilet humor and whatever else, but one of the things that you'll notice about preachers, and particularly good preachers, anybody who can get somebody to follow them in something, is that those people tend to have a good sense of humor and use it. Even in some of the most strict, we're going to pound the Bible and praise God, the preachers that get up there have a good sense of humor. They use it appropriately within the context of what they're talking about, and of course their congregation has to have a good sense of humor. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So I don't really see the accuracy.
Now, when we atheists
get some people to call in with some examples of that, because usually what I find is Christian humorists tell some lame-o, G-rated joke, and then say how they got saved, and everybody applauds for the fact that they got saved, but nobody thought the joke was that funny.
No, I'll completely agree with you that I'm not aware of a single, Christian stand-up comedian that can make me laugh. And I've tried, but that's when they're specifically trying to. It doesn't mean they don't have a sense of humor. It means that kind of thing doesn't work.
I'm saying that they're probably not. There are Christian stand-up comedians, and yes, they don't make me laugh. But you're saying they don't have a sense of humor, and I'm saying that I completely disagree, because I have yet to go to a church service where the person standing up there doing the preaching did not begin with they're going to begin with a joke, or they're going to include some humorous anecdote that's going to catch people's sense of humor. It's public speaking 101.
So it may be too
How can you
philosophical.
How can you disagree with me, Mike? Mike, how can you possibly disagree with me when I said I have not been to a church where that didn't happen?
Well, no, I'm saying that to me, the basis of humor is a large part being able to see an opposite side of a situation, okay, and the other side of an argument even. If you're very religious, it's usually because you don't really see the other side. You only see your side.
I disagree there too.
The other side is just evil.
I disagree there too. They see the other side. They just don't see it in the same way that the other side sees it. Otherwise, they'd agree.
Okay. Well, and I don't see people seeing the other side, because they're not really responding as though they did.
Okay.
Sounds good.
No, I think there is a point here. I think you're probably overstating it a lot. That we atheists have more freedom to play fast and loose with ideas